same thing, or you think that Destroy666 is gonna somehow, I don't know, win the day in game number two?
If his deck has speed built into it, then I think that he might be able to basically touch the corners before that becomes an issue. If he has some targeted removal in his deck, he could again just stem that tide before it becomes an issue.
Yeah,
I think it was just a matter of him. When you go into that first game, you aren't quite sure what your opponent is up to, and so you don't know what cards to keep
yeah, yeah.
and that sort of jazz. So I think that now that T2K5 has revealed the strategy that he's going for, maybe allowing Destroy666 to adjust to that strategy might be just enough to keep the game running in his favor.
So I don't exactly know what Destroy's list is looking like, but he's running a lot of Arcanists, which are one of the other supported tribes in Ancient Bonds. He very well may be trying to run that the new 5-1 that drains a point of life for every Arcanist. So maybe that's his plan to like just drain the opponent out via that way.
That's pretty rough because if he's going for like a swarmy strat like that, it's going to be tough for him to keep bodies on the board. Again, if already we see the God Hammer and a Maloki Huntress, so if T2K5 curves out the way he did in the last match, where he's got like the two grows, closing the distance, wreaking havoc instantly, then it's going to be like a slaughter.
Yeah.
Right now, Destroy666 does have two Venom Toths, which deal 1 damage to the opponent every time they summon a minion. So if he can get those online early enough, maybe T2K5 might get burned out with like Dark Seed, etc.
Well, so he played it. He's played in at least the last one, and he did well in the last event. And he played a very burn centric Abyssian list, and so I think he knows that he doesn't have to go get any corners. He's just gonna try to hang back. But honestly, at this point, it might be worth it to try to get corners. Like I don't think you can tangle with this opponent's deck, right? Like he has such an over the top strategy. I don't think your plan to like nickel and dime him with damage is going to be able to win the day. We'll see though.
Right. Yeah, especially because T2K5 is ramping up into like hilarious amounts of burst.
Yeah.
You can't really rely on Venom Toth pings. You're absolutely right. So I think that if he speeds up his game and starts taking corners, he might be able to just close out the game before that strategy really comes to fruition. Because they scaled up into pretty ridiculous monsters, but
it's slow.
It did take sort of a while. It did take a pretty long time for that to become like a huge issue, and we could see how T2K5's list might struggle against a Songhai list or something like that. That's just going to be blazing fast.
Yeah, like with battle pets, you don't control where they move, so it's really hard to block off corners and stuff like that. I will note when I was talking to T2K5 earlier about his deck, I was like, I don't understand some of these card choices, and he's like, well, the chassis of Mechazor is there for an anti-Songhai tech. You just put it in the corner, and then how do they get it out?
Oh my god, T2K5 so smart. The chassis, because I saw it, and like I saw the spell immunity, and I'm like, oh, this is just going to be a huge thing that your opponent can't move. But I completely forgot about the how much that just wrecks Songhai.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Like they normally like Jux it out of the way, or Phoenix Fire it to death, or something like that. I mean, they could still be a repulsor beasted, but at the end of the day, it's just an incredible. Oh,
right,
man.
It's just a minion that forces your opponent to have such a specific answer.
Yeah.
That it might forcing him to have that specific of an answer for the card might buy you the couple turns that you need for that Ion to deal that 16 damage burst that you've been waiting on.
I'm really disappointed to not see this Nature's Confluence come down. Oh, maybe he knew that his grow or his artifact was going to die from these Venom Toss, so he just sort of like said, oh, no, that's why. He would have taken 8 damage from playing this. Never mind.
Right, because the Venom Tots, it looks like they are doing their job here a little bit. The problem now is once battle pets start getting comboed along with all of this nonsense, things are going to get rough.
Yeah. Like, these Venom Toss are pretty good normally against, like, a racing opponent because, You get to leave them on the back lines while your opponent's sort of durdling around on their side of the board. But T2K5 is not having any of that. He's just running into the red zone, trying to smash his way through everything.
And now Destroy is in a really hot water because if he steps up to that, he's trying to take corners, I think. And if he steps into that top row, he can get really easily surrounded. And with a 7-5 chassis in your face, you aren't going to be able to swing through that with your general. And it's basically going to, you know what I mean? You trade 21 of your HP to to get that body block out of the way. Milwaukee Huntress already up to an 11-11 because it throws itself.
Well, I just want to note that Destroy666 did just drop a Darkseid, which dealt 5 damage. Like, it's not unreasonable to assume that he could have enough burn, in his deck somewhere to kill his opponent.
Right, because T2K5, again, with the battle pets are what really bring the burst of this deck to bear. And so right now he's having a really slow time getting that all set up.
Yeah, we haven't seen any battle pets yet. Well, we're going to see one maybe here the next couple turns. So
yeah, with the 2 Venom Toss down, he has a bit more wiggle room to play the Nature's Confluence and things like that.
Yeah, because for those who are watching at home, normally, in an everyday game of Duelyst, these gigantic behemoths could smash the opponent. You can't do that in the Amazyng Race. You gotta do it a very specific way.
And so it's fun too for the competitors because not only do they get to play in like a weird format, you get to see like the kind of roundabout ways that you can use to actually damage your opponent.
Yeah.
And these the Wraithlings are actually going to become a huge liability here with the Mechantor Warbeast in play. Ritual Banish.
Yeah.
Perfect answer to that.
He banished him away. Got rid of that nonsense. See, like, this would be the perfect opportunity. So if Destroy had, like, touched these 2 corners, he could, like, slowly start making his way across the board. And, like, I know he doesn't have tracers or anything in his deck, or he probably doesn't. He could still maybe win the game via racing. I don't know. I always like to have multiple ways to be able to win the game, right?
Right. Just because when you run into decks like this that, will quote-unquote hard counter you, you know what I mean? You have that alternate win condition built in.
It's not wrong per se. Like, I don't know exactly what's in Destroy's hand, and we do see the life draining Arcanist. So there is the possibility that he just gets to burn out T2K5.
Right, and the other thing too, not only do you damage your opponent, you heal. So if Destroy gets a really well timed Night Shroud, he could just flip the HP to such a point that the damage isn't really going to matter, and he'll be able to just keep the burn going. Nature's Confluence pulling Fog, if I'm remembering the name of this battle pet correctly.
Yep.
Which is probably one of the best case scenarios for a card like that, because if you get Rex or Dex or Psy, some of those battle pets that deal a lot of damage, then it's definitely like a huge thing where they just eat away at your general.
So I actually really like him playing the Blood Moon Priestess in his hand. That'll summon a Wraithling every time something dies. And if you're lucky, all the fogs will run into all the Wraithlings. They're battle pets. They're just mindless. So you could maybe just create an army of Wraithlings from nothing if you're lucky. I don't know if he is going to be able to do that, but we'll see. It looks like he's just thinking about it. He's going for the burn strat. It looks like because he's going to Void Pulse here. Okay. Then I'll queue in back the Void Pulse to just do a quick 4 points of damage here.
Yep, topping himself back up. That's pretty smart. And the Ether Master will be able to tank 3 of these fogs.
Oh, unlucky break here for for Destroy, because normally Ion as the battle pet would run forward and smash itself into something, but it didn't have an ability to run forward. Even though it's a ranged unit, it still moves like every other battle pet, so it ran backward and shot instead of jumping and killing itself inadvertently.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So all these fogs killed themselves by attacking. Now what's going on next?
Now T2K5 is just, he gets the full surround with these tanky guys. Destroy right now, he can clear the chassis, right? They 8-1, but he still remains in place for that. And now the Dex that he pulled from the fog gets to come down. and a Grow, which is going to get extra points from the Maloki Huntress. He is now trapped in an arena with these 3 battle pets that just don't know any better
Yeah.
and are going to hit the general.
Yeah, that's against the rules, battle pets, you dummies. He could still win here. He's gonna get this.
He's getting really
this
close.
Void Pulse back. He's gonna put him to 8. It's only a couple Dark Seeds away from winning.
This is definitely going to come down to the wire. I like that he's able to keep his general like full up here, because the battle pets scale up with the Maloki Huntress and the Godhammer like we were talking about, but it took such a long time for battle pets to become part of this equation that Destroy666 might be able to take this by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. All right. What does Destroy need to do to win this game other than just draw good? I mean, is that it? Does he have to hope for some sort of burn here?
Right, because he's used all of his Void Pulses at this point.
No, he's just used one. He's recycled it twice.
Oh, really? I thought he had 2 in hand and then recycled it once and then recycled another.
No, he's got 2 Lore Masters here.
Wow. Okay. So the Dark Seeds Void Pulse is what we're looking for here.
Yeah. What is this? What is this spell in his hand?
That is a new spell from Ancient Bonds called Blood Echoes. You destroy all friendly minions and then re-summon them on random spaces.
I'm guessing that's for the Drain Life Arcanist?
Yeah, exactly. That it allows you to combo with Night Shroud, and it gives you the opportunity to trigger your Dying Wish effects if need be.
Yeah. And someone in chat talked about how Necrotic Sphere would be so OP here. Yeah. Necrotic Sphere would maybe end this game immediately. Well, end this game is maybe an exaggeration.
Well, the thing, too, is that the Ion is still there, and it's going to deal double damage. So, yeah, he takes the damage from the chassis to play the Ether Master. Oh, that's rough. And he doesn't have another place to spawn the Night Shroud.
Oh, no, that sucks. Oh, well. He drew the Night Shroud, too, is the best part. Oh, it summons it randomly. Ah, interesting. I have yet to see that card cast, which is why I didn't quite know.
Yeah, so it moves to a random spot, so he still gets cleaned up here, though, by the other battle pets. Really unfortunate.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like T2K5's meme deck won. I am as surprised. Like, I'm surprised based on what it looked like to begin with, but I am so happy. Like, I've never been happier.